Hello everybody! Welcome back to Razor Reviews. I'm sorry that I've been gone for a long time, but I went on a couple different vacations, one of which was to Canada, and I didn't have a lot of internet there. So I didn't really have the opportunity to do anything for YouTube. There will be gaming videos coming up hopefully in the next week or two. But for today, what we have is Razor Reviews for The Defenders. Now, if anybody of you are Marvel fans, and if you haven't watched the Marvel Netflix shows yet, which is Daredevil, which has 2 seasons, and then Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist, watch them. If you have watched them and you haven't watched The Defenders yet, which is basically the Netflix's version of The Avengers, you should watch it too. I found it really, really good. Obviously there are some ups and downs, but for the most part, I really enjoyed it. It was kind of, I'm really glad that they kept to what the Netflix has been doing, which has been a TV show base rather than a movie base, because if they had made a movie for it rather than an episodic series, it would have been a lot more dry, I think, compared to what we'd experienced with the other Netflix Marvel shows. It was also really nice to see all 4 of them together, because within the individual shows, they've really kept them apart for the most part, and so finally getting all 4 of their different personality types together was really nice. Let's start with dislikes, because you don't want to end on negative. Dislikes. One thing I know it's stupid, but there were only 8 episodes, and I didn't really like that, considering it took them 4 of those 8 episodes to actually get together, let alone start merging together as a sort of team, which they didn't really fully get to that point until the very end, spoiler alert. But for an 8-episode series compared to the other Netflix shows, where they've got a lot more episodes per season, it seemed very short to me. I mean, obviously they don't need as much backstory building, because a lot of that was already done in the individual shows, specifically Daredevil and Iron Fist. But it seemed kind of too short. I think it doesn't even have to be a full series, but if they had pushed it to maybe 10, it would have been a little bit better. That way they had more time to build that they were doing with getting them to finally get together, and then allowing them to have a little bit more time to mesh and fully understand each other, rather than kind of spend half their time apart and then spend the other half getting together, hating each other, learning to tolerate each other, and then finally beating the bad guys. Spoiler alert, I mean, obviously, it's a Marvel thing. They're going to beat the bad guys at the end, with a twist. They always do. That is one big thing I didn't like about it. It seemed kind of a bit short, allowing it to be kind of rushed towards the end. Another dislike, I would say that the only dislikes I really had were just that, and kinda the ending, without spoiling the ending, it kinda left it kind of cliche. I know it's Marvel, and there's not much, everything is cliche these days, but the ending was very cliche in my opinion. Still good, but very, very cliche. And I might do a spoiler video later, or maybe save it to the end, I don't know. But that's all I'm going to say about that for now. Likes. Finally getting all 4 of them together. That was really awesome. I thought it was really interesting that instead of getting them all 4 together and learning to mesh with each other, they kind of put them into 2s first, then together, and then they still kept on being in 2s for a little bit. They had Daredevil and Jessica Jones meeting up first, and then Iron Fist and Luke Cage meeting up, and then they're all meeting up together, and they kind of stick with those pairings for the rest of the episodes till the very end. I get why they did that, because if Daredevil and Iron Fist had gone together, I mean, they're kind of very similar in the fact that they're martial artists and they've been fighting the Hand. And Jessica Jones and Luke Cage obviously knew each other from her show Jessica Jones. So I'm glad that they paired them in that way, so that way they can get to know each other before, and then get those individual parts before meshing it all from a big whole, because you put a group together and anything can come out. But if you take a group and split it in half, get them to learn each other, and then each half already knows a little bit of the other half before they even get meshed, it's kind of good. I don't know where I was going with that, but I like that. I thought it was very interesting. Like I mean, I saw the trailers beforehand, but I thought it was really interesting that they had Sigourney Weaver as one of the big bads in the show. That was unexpected. I mean, she did very well. Let's see, other things I liked. I liked that the city was actually at stake for a change rather than an invisible moral stake. It was actually physically in danger, compared to the rest of the other shows where it's more of a moral in danger instead of a physical one, where you had Daredevil just beating up, you know, gangs and stuff like that, and then you have Jessica Jones versus Kilgrave, Iron Fist doing the same thing against the Hand, and Luke Cage fighting injustice in Harlem. I heard rumors, I don't know how legit they are, that sometime in the future, in some future Marvel movies, that these characters might make an appearance. If that is so, that'd be really awesome. And if they were able to go vice versa. However, I don't really think so, because while they are Marvel, there is still a slight break between the two, which is kind of nice because it allows it to develop differently, but still be in the same universe. But yeah, other than that, I really enjoyed the show. It was fantastic. They definitely, while the city was definitely in physical peril, there was also some moral things that they had to go up against, especially towards the very end, that I thought were very interesting, like putting it into a personal perspective rather than superhero global perspective. Oh no, it was actually a smaller perspective, an individual, where individuals were having to figure out whether or not to do this bad thing for the greater good, rather than being, oh, I'm a superhero, I know what's best. It's like, oh, this is actually a tough decision. But yeah, other than that, I thought it was really good. I think the characters, their banter back and forth was really good. And I really look forward to the continuations of each of their shows, because I know Daredevil has been, they're shooting for his third season. Jessica Jones is getting a second season. I'm sure Iron Fist and Luke Cage will as well. And eventually there will be a Defender season 2. That's probably way on. And also, towards the end, at the end of the trailer, the best part was the Punisher teaser trailer, which I was really excited to see that, because I really loved his character in Daredevil Season 2. He did a really great job with it, and I look forward to seeing the Netflix Marvel take of basically, I mean, it's obviously not Deadpool, but an anti-hero superhero show. Because I don't think they've done something like that in quite a while, let alone have an entire show dedicated to it. So I'm really looking forward to see what they do with that next year, and whether or not Daredevil will be in it at any point, considering the Punisher was introduced and was a major character in Season 2 of Daredevil. Other than that, I highly recommend The Defenders if you enjoy Marvel and or the Netflix shows. Netflix has really been doing a great job with their original movies and TV shows, and this partnership with Marvel has been really good. The whole thing lately where they had the issue with Disney trying to remove all their stuff from Netflix had me a little concerned with the Marvel Netflix show, considering Marvel is owned by Disney, and what it would mean for the future of that. We will see. I highly doubt anything will change, but if it does, that would really suck, because these shows are fantastic. But other than that, I would give it, I know this is just a fictional number, but I would give it probably an 8 out of 10. It wasn't obviously the best show out there, but for what it could do with the time it had, it was fantastic, and I highly recommend watching it. But other than that, I will see you all in the next video, and please, if you like this video, like it, share it, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, because that way others can see my channel. Please leave a comment below if you agree or if you disagree. I will get to it when I can. But other than that, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. See ya!